So generally, Duchenne is diagnosed not at birth because there's no newborn screening. And so Austin was, I started seeing symptoms of something being wrong when he was about 2, and he was just not meeting his milestones. I was running a home daycare, a licensed home daycare, and so I had a lot of children his age, and so I could see that he wasn't walking upstairs, he was falling a lot, he was really whiny, always wanted me to carry him. And I was pregnant with his little brother, and so I kept bringing him back to the doctor, and the doctor just said he was sort of lazy and, accused me of carrying him around too much. And he had a big head, and he would grow into it and everything else. But he was diagnosed when he was 3, and Max was a newborn. And actually, they were diagnosed really quickly because the physical therapist that was sent to my house, the process is for a motor delay or a gross motor delay, which is what the doctor thought it was, is that a physical therapist will come out and do an evaluation of the child to see. Basically, I thought I was trying to see if we were going to get services. I thought, okay, am I going to get a PT to work with my son? Cool. So I was 21, Austin was 3, Max was a newborn, and the physical therapist put Austin on the floor, laid him on his back, and watched him get up. And he did what I always saw him do, where it was like crawled up his legs to stand up. And then she brought him, we lived in a raised ranch house, so stairs to go up, stairs to go down, and a landing. She brought him all the way down, and she told him to go up. And first of all, he fought it. And I knew he would. I said, he doesn't do stairs. And she said, what do you mean? He's 3, he does stairs. And he took stairs one at a time, never alternated feet, just pulled himself up on the railing. And she said, I actually just took a class, and I think he has Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. This is not the usual diagnosis, but just because this woman, her name was Diana, she had just taken a class, and she said, I think he needs to get a blood test to rule it out. And so she called the pediatrician, who said, there's no way this kid has muscular dystrophy. I'm a pediatrician, I would have noticed. But lo and behold, he had a CK test, and he had Duchenne, and the neurologist they referred me to told me that genetically, because he was the first in our family, we had never had it, that probably he was a spontaneous mutation, but they wanted to test me too. And they said, if you don't have it, then, if you don't have it in your blood, if you're not a carrier, then your baby's fine. So they tested me, and I was not a carrier. And so I did some reading, and I it was early in internet years. I didn't have internet at home, but I was at the library, and I was doing some searching at the library, some record searching, and I read something about mosaicism, and that you could not be a carrier and still have more than one child with an X-linked disease. And so I asked for him to be tested. The neurologist yelled at me and told me I was wasting resources, but then he called me back 5 days later and said, well, I've had to call in some experts, and it turns out that your baby also has this disease. I'm sorry, I've never heard of such a thing. And he was the local expert at the local biggest medical center around. And so they both were diagnosed with Duchenne.